So before we get going, maybe we'll do a quick run through of our lineups. Again, Ohio in the black. Number 10 will be Out of My Way Man. Number 12, Kitty Lickerbottom. Number 23 is Phoenix Buns. 59 is Lorraine Acid. 214 is Dixie Heartless. 216 is Kilbasa. 365 is The Smacktivist. 815 is Big Rig. 0125 is Page Bleed. 5150 is Pippi Rip Your Stockings. I understand that Lippy Wrong Stockings did not play for Tri-City last night. That would have been a tongue twister for the announcers. 5459 is Hellion Boy. 1101 Avatar. 1993 is the Bratislava Bruiser, and their bench manager Trip Tees have all made the trip here from Columbus, Ohio.
And skating up for CN Power's roster, we have Lady Gaga, number 212. Number 2 is Defa Caitlin. Number 510 is Aston Martini. 807 is Cookie Dough. 2020 is Candy Crossbones. Number 27 is Jubilee. Number 2x4 is Nasher the Smasher. Number 99 is Pantyhoser. Number L7 is Tear Apart. Number 26 is Megamouth. Number 33 is Bambi. Number 23 is Betty Bomber. Number 7, Rebel Rocket. And number 22 is Mia Culprit. Joining them on the bench is the Reverend Ramirez, along with
It's Sonic Doom.
Sonic Doom.
With the pink sequined Converse. I have to find out where you get those. And just very Natalie attired. Referees now doing equipment check. We've got referees from a number of WFTDA leagues right here. We've got D- from Hammer City, Parking Lot from here in Toronto Roller Derby. Matisfaction from Tri-City, Class Joker from Toronto, Ref and a Doorbell from Toronto. Visiting ref from Ohio, it's Great Scott, and I believe our head referee for this bout will be Toronto's Penny Whistler. I believe we've also got a couple of NSOs who have made the trip up from Ohio as well.
Mm-hmm.
So nice to see officials making these road trips.
And shortly you will be watching us on care of Justin TV. We all will also be boutcasting on DNN and Canuck Derby TV. And this is a Toronto Roller Derby TV production.
That's right. This is also a closed bout. Again, it's 12 in the afternoon here in Toronto. And so we don't have a crowd here. We've got a handful of people from who are going to be here for the B game this afternoon, where we'll see Toronto's Bay Street Bruisers bout for the first time as the B team for Toronto, and they'll be taking on Ohio's B team. So we've got a few of them sitting in the stands, and some volunteers from Toronto as well. Here earlier this morning, cleaning the track, getting the door open, getting the fan open. It's hot, it's muggy in here.
28 degrees Celsius here in Toronto.
That's right. That's around 80, 81 in real degrees for you folks across the border.
Real degrees? Come on, haven't you assimilated yet?
Well, I've been here for 30 years, so I've been here longer than you have. Yeah. But I still haven't picked up my citizenship, so.
I snapped it up right away. I came over to Canada during the Bush administration and could not get that citizenship fast enough, so.
Yeah. I came up during the Reagan administration. I was a child, though, so it wasn't. I wasn't protesting anything. I just we came with family, and but Toronto was definitely my home. But somehow, the temperature degrees, I still relate to Fahrenheit. I don't know.
Same here. I have to actually look at the phone to determine the numbers, and it's one of those things. Can't abandon all of the imperial system.
Talking with some of the Ohio skaters earlier this morning, of course, about our funny money. About our funny money, our funny bacon. And but I had to assure them that we do not call this event a boot. This is about.
This is about. And so far, CN Power has won the cheer as we get lined up for the first jam of this bout.
It looks like jamming for Ohio to start will be number 12, Kitty Lickerbottom.
And that's Bambi in the pink, holding the star for CN Power. Oh, and CN Power taking a knee right off the line. That's Jubilee, Tear Apart, Betty Bomber, and Nasher the Smasher. Looks like they're putting out a power line for this first jam.
Yeah, and they're going to want to get this one going in a hurry, hoping to take advantage of a team that just played last night.
Bradycardia calling 5 seconds. We're going to start this on the second whistle. Looks like Bambi's stuck behind a wall of green. She breaks through, not quite, and she is lead jammer. Number 33 for CN Power is your lead jammer. And it looks like opposing jammer still stuck behind Jubilee. She does make it through. It's like Tara Part's trying to hold some points for Bambi here. And Ohio doing a great job of keeping this pack nice and fast. But not quite as fast as Bambi. She calls it up. 3 points scored in that last jam.
Yeah, so that quick start certainly worked to CN Power's favor. It's definitely a start that they wanted to get. And they're going to counter now with one of their other quick jammers in Defa Caitlin, number 2. And looks like we've got number 5150. That's Pippi Rip Your Stockings will be jamming for Ohio.
Jam starting right away, and Defa Caitlin gets lead right off that line before the pivot line even comes through. Ohio still stuck behind a wall. Aston Martini holding her back. Lady Gaga still nice hit out, not quite finishing her off. And Defa Caitlin is working through this pack. CN Power holding a go. And she calls off. 4 points scored for CN Power. 0 points for Ohio.
Yeah, it's a great pack work there by CN Power. The Megamouth, Aston Martini, Pivot, Pantyhoser, and Lady Gaga doing a great job on some trapping. Right now, 54-59 will be jamming for Ohio. That's Hellion Boy. And looks like Candy Crossbones 2020 in the pink for CN Power.
CN Power once again starting on a knee. Making good use of this strategy while it still exists. And Nasher the Smasher throwing a big hit on Ohio's jammer. But both jammers seem to be stumbling through this. I'm stumbling through my words here.
Yeah, looks like Candy Crossbones had a collision there with Phoenix Buns, knocking her down at turn 1. And Candy is your lead jammer.
Just barely. Looks like she was just about to get tapped out, and Ohio almost took the lead there, but a little tussle at the front of the pack, and Candy Crossbones became lead. CN Power holding one of Ohio's blockers back. She calls it before Ohio can score any points. 2 points for CN Power.
Yeah, so 3 jams in, and CN Power holding a 9-0 lead just 3 minutes into this first half. And I heard that last night's bout between Ohio and the Tri-City Thunder went really quickly, and it looks like this one is going to be doing the same. New jammer on the line for Ohio right now, Kitty Lickerbottom.
And that's Bambi once again jamming for CN Power. Both skaters stuck behind a wall. Ohio doing a great job of keeping it nice and tight to that other wall, and Ohio gets their first lead jam of the game.
Yeah, Phoenix
Bambi
Buns
still
giving
stuck.
Kitty Lickerbottom a nice whip around the outside to get her past those CN Power blockers.
Aston Martini looking to open up a hole, and the bench is letting you know points are scored for Ohio for the first time, but she is stuck behind Rebel Rocket, just barely making it through. She does score 5 points. This does not happen to Bambi very often. She continues on, and she does not have lead, but she is at least out of the pack. Ohio whipping around for more points scored, and she calls it. Another 4 points. This is now a tie game.
That's right, yeah, it's 9-all after our 4th jam. And so that 9-point lead is quickly evaporated, and Defa Caitlin's going to try to restore that for CN Power, and she's facing off against 59 Lorraine Acid with her first jam of the afternoon.
Caitlin trying to duke out. She's going to try to push this wall forward. Doesn't quite make it, and Ohio wiggles their way up to the front.
Yeah, that's Lorraine Acid as your lead jammer for Ohio.
Caitlin still stuck behind a wall of Ohio. CN Power now backing off, leaving Caitlin to fight for herself. Ohio looks to be strategically making it really close to the pack, so they're staying within pack. I think that's a strategy that CN Power is working on, trying to force that other opponent up, and Ohio's not giving them any wiggle room.
That's right. So 2 points come in for Ohio, and we have our first lead change of the afternoon. If it's not too early for you, have a drink at home. It's 11-9 for Ohio. It was
never
interesting.
Too early on a Sunday afternoon.
No, especially on a long weekend up here in Canada. Looking at 54-59 jamming again for Ohio, and that is Hellion Boy. Candy Crossbones, number 2020, in the pink for CN Power with the star.
Ohio looking to borrow that knee start, hoping they can use it against CN Power this time around, and it seems to be working so far. Candy Crossbones still stuck at the back of the pack, trying to push through, but Ohio is coming around for points. And Lady Gaga doing a nice bridge for Rebel to hold that jammer. But that was a natural grand slam for Ohio. 5 points scored for them. CN Power is still looking to struggle out of the pack. Candy Crossbones really fighting that front wall that's not moving anywhere. Lady Gaga looking to push someone out.
Yeah, it was Paige Bleed and Bratislava Bruiser both giving all sorts of trouble to Candy on that last turn.
Candy Crossbones does finally manage to leave the pack, but Ohio is looking to score more points. CN Power looking to stop her. Megamouth and Rebel both protecting their point. And Ohio calls it right before Candy Crossbones enters the pack.
Yeah, Ohio is definitely targeting the CN Power jammers, like often putting 3, if not 4 blockers on her at the same time, and really just letting their own jammer do her own work to get through. Looks like Kitty Lickerbottom is going to be jamming next again for Ohio. Number 12 in the black. Number 33 in the pink is Bambi.
Another scrum start. Bambi trying to get through that back wall.
Could be an opportunity for Bambi. And it was, but she just cut the track, and the first power jam of the afternoon is going to be in Ohio's favor. Bambi has taken a cutting major. At the same time, Kitty Lickerbottom is your lead jammer for Ohio, and Ohio has stopped at turn 4.
CN Power forming a back wall, hoping to prevent any points from being scored. Looks like Tara Part and Betty Bomber hitting her to the inside. And she does whisk her way through and scores 5 points. CN Power looking to regroup as Tara Part is stuck at the back of this pack of Ohio skaters in black.
Jubilee doing a nice job bridging for CN Power so that Nasher the Smasher and Betty Bomber can keep working on that Ohio jammer.
Jubilee looking for one last tap, but not enough to push her in. It's another 5 points scored for Ohio.
And CN Power now has blocker number 23, Betty Bomber, in the box as Bambi is released and she's back on the track.
Playing blocker, which is what she likes to do. Trying to kill some time and maybe even force a back block.
Yeah, Bambi has really come a long way with her her defensive play when she's wearing the star.
And I'm not quite sure. Oh, that looks like that was a direction of play. She was stopped on that track, and Bambi goes back into the penalty box. Once again, a power jam for Ohio.
And with only a couple seconds left on the jam clock, She calls it, and Ohio will start the next jam on another power jam. Ohio picking up some big points there, and right now we're sitting at 35 for the Ohio Roller Girls A team. CN Power is still with 9, with 10 minutes gone in the first half.
And Ohio strategically starting this jam right away on a knee as the scrum start.
And Phoenix Buns, one of the top jammers for the Ohio Roller Girls, will be the lone jammer on the track. Ohio has all 4 of their blockers on the track. There's only 3 on right now for CN Power and Megamouth, Pantyhoser, and Lady Gaga.
Pantyhoser doing an awesome job of hitting her out, but doesn't quite stay on her skates. And now she's stuck at the back of this pack. Megamouth taking a good hit, but unfortunately not able to stay on her skates either. This is a slick floor, and especially when the humidity ramps up.
And Phoenix Buns is through first, and she will be picking up some points here, but she is not your lead jammer. So this jam is going to go for a while.
And it looks like one of the blockers for Ohio is going to the penalty box for direction of play. It's tough when you're trying to keep this slow. And it looks like Megamouth is not too happy with the refs not calling. Looks like number 23 was in the air when she did take that hit. And Bambi takes lead jammer. Bench lets her know she needs to call it and get this over with.
So no points for CN Power on that one. She gets the lead and she calls it, but Ohio did pick up 5. And they now have 40 points to the 9 that CN Power put up earlier in this first half. Going to see a new jammer right now for CN Power, number 807, Cookie Dough. Cookie Dough was Rookie of the Year for Toronto Roller Derby last year. And she's going to be skating against Hellion Boy, number 5459 for CN Power.
And we've got an official timeout. I think we're discussing that that leap over the apex and the hit that happened in the air. We'll see what the outcome is. That's Lady Gaga and Reverend Ramirez for CN Power as management.
And Brady Cardia is signaling that actually Ohio has called for an official review. So remember, this is the first of 2 bouts that TORD TV will be bringing to you this afternoon. Later on this afternoon, we'll be seeing the B team for Ohio taking on CN Power, taking on Toronto's new B team, the Bay Street Bruisers. Over at the production booth, we've got Tropic Thunder and Kitty Lepers. They're both ably aiding Layer 9, who runs all of the fantastic things that we've got for you here at TORD TV. And they have put 5 more points on the board for Ohio, so it's at 45-9. But 18 minutes remaining in the first half.
Looks like Ohio splitting up this pack. Giving Kookie lots of room already, but very slow, stuck behind. And who is that, Jim?
That's Hellion Boy trying to sneak around the outside, but she got driven out. Meanwhile, Cookie Dough. Cookie Dough is your lead jammer for CN Power.
Nasha the Smasher putting a hit out. Oh, and she doesn't get a cutting major for that. Not sure how that works out. I guess she cut as she was hitting.
She might have. I couldn't see from this angle where her skates were, but Nasher has been sent to the box, as has Jubilee. So only 2 blockers on the track right now for CN Power, Tara Part and Betty Bomber.
Cookie Dough looking to score some points and call it fast. Ohio getting the gain on her because Ohio is keeping this pack super fast.
Cookie's probably going to have to hit and call.
And not even. It looks like 0-0. She had to call it just before Ohio snuck away with a point or 2.
Yeah, great speed from the Ohio skaters. Cookie did pick up 4 points on her first scoring pass, though, so CN Power now in double digits at 13 to Ohio's 45. Again, we'll only have 2 blockers on for CN Power, the full complement of 4 for Ohio. Jamming will be Bambi, number 33 in the pink. And again, that's going to be number 12, Kitty Lickerbottom for Ohio.
She does a tap, and Aston Martini knocks her out, goes far back to the back of the pack. Rebel Rocket bridging her. And Bambi does get through with lead jammer. Kitty Lickerbottom still stuck in this pack behind Aston Martini, giving her hot trouble.
Rebel, the last line of defense, and Kitty gets past her. But
and
again,
she does force a cutting major on one of Ohio's blockers. Direction of play, and Bambi forced to call. 2 points scored for CN Power. And 3 points.
Grace Scott's signaling 3 points for Ohio on that one. So 48 to 15. The score they're showing right now.
Dust Bunny getting limber for her next jam for CN Power.
And it's 51-50. Pippi Ripperstocking, so will be jamming for Ohio. Timeout being called, though, and looks like captain for Ohio, number 1993, Bratislava Bruiser, is out there talking to Penny Whistler just to get some clarification. But it's a nice quick one. It's amazing in closed bout how clearly you can hear everything happening on the track.
Yeah, it's true. Curious to see how it sounds at home.
I was talking to some of the skaters before the game, and some of them really prefer a closed bout. None of the distractions of the crowd, the music, the announcing. At the same time, some skaters really miss that ambient noise and really feed off of it.
Mm-hmm. And Pippi does get lead jammer.
CN Power kind of held her back for a full lap, though, so we didn't have the quick leads that we were seeing earlier in this game. Back blocking major being called on number 23, Phoenix Buns, for a hit that she laid on Nasher the Smasher. So now it's CN Power with the 4-2 pack advantage.
And she calls this jam before Deaf Caitlin can score any points. Only 1 point scored against Tara Part for Ohio. Putting our score now at 49 for Ohio, 15 for CN Power, and only 14 minutes left in this half.
That's right. It's a 34-point difference right now. And still early in this bout. We're going to be seeing Hellion Boy jamming again for Ohio, and 33 Bambi for CN Power. We've seen this matchup a couple of times. It's a fairly even one. Very similar builds and similar skating styles.
Bambi taking the long line on the outside, and she does get through.
Taking
Aston
advantage.
Martini throwing this jammer back to the back. And Bambi slicing right through. CN Power doing a great job of isolating Ohio's jammer, but she does finally clear the pack.
Yeah,
and
Hellion
Ohio
Boy
has
taking a
sped
whip.
things up. Lady Gaga looking to hold him back. Pack is split, and Bambi jukes through and calls it off.
So Bambi picked up 10 points on that one, cutting that lead from 34 to 24, and now it's 49 to 25. About just under 13 minutes remaining in the first half. CN Power is going to look to build on that. So they're sending Deaf Caitlin back out to the line. Against number 12, Kitty Lickerbottom for Ohio. And Ohio is going to start on a knee and try to get this one going in a hurry.
And official timeout called. Looks like we're accumulating some minors. And that's all it took. I think maybe that is part of the advantage of a close bout too. The refs are a little clearer, focused.
Yeah. Well, the main problem I find sometimes for the officials is that they can't actually hear themselves when they have to have an official review and have to have a conversation. You've got the crowd going, you've got the music going, and sometimes it's really hard to get that business done in a hurry.
Probably doesn't help that announcers like us are usually hollering into a microphone just to keep the crowd alive.
Well, exactly. Because the crowd doesn't want to keep quiet when there's an official review happening.
No.
Your lead jammer right now,
Number
12, Kitty Lickerbottom.
Defa Caitlin finally making her way through.
Dodging.
Just barely getting past 2:14.
Dixie Hartless for Ohio.
And CN Power not happy about that call. No points, no pass.
CN Power bench not happy about that scoring pass there. It's like Reverend Ramirez trying to say that the Ohio jammer had her skate out of bounds when she passed Nasher the Smasher. But Great Scott did signal that one of those points didn't count because she was passing out of bounds. So that's why I only got the 3 in for Ohio. It's like Hellion Boy and Bambi again are your jammers.
Fanny Hoser throwing a good hard hit to the outside, forcing her way back to the back of the pack, giving Bambi some room to clear this pack and get lead jammer.
And again, CN Power using very similar strategy to what Ohio's been doing off and on this afternoon, isolating that jammer and just being the one blocker that brings her all the way back.
Aston Martini once again hitting the jammer out, giving her a little wave to let her know who actually was the culprit. She's going to take credit for that nice hit. Taking advantage of that sweet spot, especially on this slick track. Bambi hitting a solid wall of Ohio blockers at the front, but number 23 not being passed to the back because Lady Gaga stopped her.
Hellion Boy has cleared the pack, but that was not a scoring pass yet, so she's coming up, and Bambi does makes the call, realizing she wasn't going to get through the pack a second time, but she has picked up 8 points. So now it's 52-33 with 10 minutes left in the first half.
I think that's one thing that CN Power is really aware of, and you know, they're goading those hits back as far back as possible. But when they see Ohio coming up to do the same strategy, they're standing in the way and preventing any movement backwards. And actually, you know, I've seen it happen a couple times where they've forced minor direction of play calls. So
that's right. So
it's
it is
definitely
something they've been working
advantage.
on. Lorraine Acid, number 59, jamming for Ohio. It's 2020 in the pink for CN Power. It's Candy Crossbones.
Lorraine Acid stuck behind, tear apart. And is that Nasher the Smasher?
Nasher
she gets smashed out.
Takes Lorraine down. She's slow to get up. I think she may have landed on the rope line. And that can't feel good, but she is back up and skating.
I think Nasher was hoping to get a cutting penalty, but I think she was too far out of that pack to be called for it. Ohio keeping this fast, trying to prevent Candy Crossbones from scoring any points. Nasher feeding her at least one there. She does get 2.
Yep, and Candy did pick up 2 points.
There was an illegal procedure. I think she might have had 3, but because of that penalty, she only walked away with 2 on that last lead.
And first time in a while, we're going to have both packs at full strength on this jam. Number 12 will be Kitty Lickerbottom for Ohio. And number 2, Defa Caitlin for CN Power. Kitty knocked out by a Rebel, has to go to the back of the pack to re-enter.
Yeah, she was the first one off that line, but didn't quite matter when you're getting stopped. And Defa Caitlin using some patience and still gets lead jammer. Both packs nice and tight and effective. Dusty looking for a hole. She does pass the jammer on the outside.
Oh, Caitlin very close to cutting in front of, looks like the Smacktivist at that point.
And Ohio is being sent to the
recovered.
penalty box. Kitty Lickerbottom did have a cutting major and is sent off. Dusty did not get hit out as Ohio had thought. And she does score 5 points on that last pass.
And she is, like you were saying, she is on a power jam right now, and this is a huge opportunity for CN Power. Still have almost a minute left on the jam clock. And a great opportunity for CN Power to do some damage.
Defa Caitlin playing clean, coming right behind number 23 from Ohio. That is Phoenix Buns. Doing great defense there. Rebel preventing her from moving further back than she already was. Direction of play called. I'm not sure who that was on. I don't think the Pac is aware either. That was one of Ohio's blockers being called out on a direction of play. And Dusty flies through. No pass, no point. So she has 4 points on that last pass. Pantyhose are hitting her back, but Rebel Rocket taking the credit, hoping to wave her by.
Out of my way, man, taking Defa Caitlin out there near turn 1. The clock runs down. Let's see what the final damage is here. Let's see 2 more points coming in for CN Power, and that lead has been cut to just 6. 52 for Ohio, 46 for CN Power. 6 minutes left in the first half. A big pushback is happening right now for CN Power. It's the most highly ranked opponent CN Power has faced since they took on Naptown a while back. A bout against Naptown, CN Power went down by almost 200 points. That was back in December, but they've come a long way since then. Right now it's sitting at 15th in the North Central.
Bambi skating for CN Power in the pink, but unfortunately, Pippi, rip your stockings. Just whisked through. She does have lead jammer.
Bambi's not far behind, though. Jubilee knocking Pippi to the inside.
CN Power steals 2 points.
Great defensive play by Jubilee, number 27 for CN Power.
Keeping it even.
Yeah, it was like 2 points aside, so it's 54-48. 5 minutes remaining on the clock. Candy Crossbones now facing off against Hellion Boy, 54-59 for Ohio.
CN Power taking a knee for a scrum start, hoping to isolate Ohio at the back. And they do. Candy Crossbones does get lead jammer for CN Power in the pink.
Just dodges Bratislava Bruiser and keeps inbounds to get that lead.
And CN Power doing an awesome job, but Onion Boy finally out of this pack, just as Candy Crossbones is stuck. Rebel Rocket breaking the pack, and she does get called off for that. Zero points for CN Power.
The end of that jam, Megamouth got sent off, it looks like, for a low block major. Officials coming over to just to double check on what's happening with the points. Ohio has called a timeout with 4 minutes left on the clock.
Things are getting a little heated here in this bout. And Ohio is calling a timeout.
They get the clock stopped finally on the scoreboard, and Penny Whistler's gone over just to see if they can get that adjusted.
Yeah, points were updated. We're looking at 57 for Ohio, 56 for CN Power. Potentially why Ohio is taking this timeout. They're feeling that creep up.
Anyway, so it is a 1 point difference at the moment, and I don't think anybody was really predicting this this first half that we've been seeing so far. Again, Ohio is currently sitting at number 7 in the North Central. CN Power at 15. Now, yes, Ohio did play last night, and I know that they've got some skaters that are on both their A team and their B team. So for some of these girls, this is their third bout of the weekend.
Mm-hmm. There's 6 players actually going to be playing for both A and B teams. So by the end of today, they will have played 4 bouts in 2 days.
Again, Ohio does seem to thrive on that, though. They are sitting at 11-1 so far in 2012. That means that this is their A team's 13th bout of the year.
Lorraine Acid jamming for Ohio, and Bambi in the pink for CN Power. Both stuck at the back of these packs. Bambi just almost getting through. There was no pack called, so she's able to enter, and Lorraine Acid does take lead jammer. Bambi not quite far behind. She does deke around number 23 from Ohio. That's Phoenix Buns that was putting the stop on her at the front.
Both teams only have 2 blockers on right now. Ohio, that's 5150 Pippi Rip Your Stockings.
4 points scored for Ohio, 0 for CM Power. They were hoping for 5, but they'll take it.
Yeah, it's 61-56 right now, your score for Ohio. 3 minutes remain. Gonna have 2 blockers on for CN Power and Aston Martini and Lady Gaga. Looking to give their jammer Candy Crossbones a hand. Hellion Boy will be jamming for Ohio, and it looks like we've got 23 Phoenix Buns. And again, 5150 Pippi Rip Your Stockings doing another jam in a row. Penalties haven't been too out of hand yet. Looking at the whiteboards, looks like we've got a few skaters on each side that have each made 2 trips to the box.
Now, I'm not in the minds of the Ohio managers right now, but seeing familiar faces out on the track leads me to believe that they're resting up some of their skaters that are playing the B team later this afternoon at 2 o'clock.
And what I've heard about Ohio, number 23 is out there right now, Phoenix Buns. She's one of those skaters who can go 2, 3, maybe 4 jams in a row if she has to. And she can eat up some valuable minutes for her teammates.
Reminds me of the early days of Derby when teams weren't 20 players strong and you just didn't have a choice. That's how you played. So
yeah, sometimes you were lucky if you had 9 show up for some of those early games.
Yeah, for sure.
Toronto Roller Derby, of course, went through some growing pains early in its history, starting out with 6 home teams, contracting down to 4. But now currently with 4 home teams, now 2 travel teams, and a rookie team. So 7 teams strong, well over 100 skaters, definitely largest league of its kind in Canada. Great interest for roller derby here in Toronto.
Absolutely. And if fans from way back in those days are watching, they might remember the Bay Street Bruisers were a home team, and they were one of those teams that were assimilated down in that league change, and we decided to bring them back. You know, we had a lot of merch to move, so it was a great logo. Might as well keep it. And Bay Street Bruisers is great for a B team.
And you were an original Bruiser yourself, weren't you?
I was the captain of the Bruisers for several seasons, and now playing for the Death Track Dolls and again for the Bruisers. So it's kind of a fun homecoming to be.
It comes full circle.
It does.
Speaking of circles, Hellion Boy right now is your lead jammer, and she's already on a scoring pass for Ohio.
Candy Crossbones is out of the pack, though. Was met with some trouble at the front. And Hellion Boy met with some trouble against Megamouth, and she's forced to call before Candy Crossbones can pick up any points in this jam. That was 3 points for Ohio in that pass.
3 points being called in for Ohio. Maybe some disagreement on the CN Power bench about a 3rd point there, but we're going to move on and get on this next jam going. We only have a minute and a half left on the period clock. Back to an 8-point lead for Ohio, 64-56. Bambi facing off right now against Lorraine Acid for Ohio.
Bambi being stuck by Lorraine Acid at the back. She's fighting against 5.
Yep. Both teams, again, have 4 blockers on, so that track is certainly a lot more crowded for some of these jammers. Oh!
Bambi being pushed forward. She does get lead. She's pretty pissed about it, and she does call it.
Try not to read lips. I think she said, "Oh my God, my face hurt," and she got up there. Looks like she got tangled up with the Ohio jammer.
Both teams getting pretty heated here. That 30 seconds is never really long enough sometimes.
Ohio making a quick jammer switch there and putting Kitty Lickerbottom back on. She's going to be facing off against Defa Caitlin.
Defa Caitlin coming pretty far off that line, looking for a running start. Both teams stuck behind a pack. And Dusty tiptoes her way through the inside line. Still stuck at the back, though. Didn't really gain much traction there, but she is pushing. Kitty Lickerbottom still stuck in the pack, too. And Defa Caitlin has just one more player to hit up against. She's hit out, and it gets fed back to the back of this pack.
Bratislava Bruiser with a nice hit on Defa Caitlin.
So Kitty Lickerbottom is out of this pack, but she is not lead jammer. She did have a minor cut penalty.
Defa Caitlin getting
good footwork on the inside line there.
Little dance move, so she gets knocked in and out. And that's Phoenix Buns taking Caitlin all the way back to turn 3.
And unfortunately, Dust Bunny does the aw shucks with her head. She's being called out on a cutting major. And this is a power jam for Ohio. Let's see what Kitty can do with this.
Yeah, Phoenix Buns took her back, and so she re-entered behind her, but she was in front of the other Ohio skater. And that was what that cutting major was for.
Back block.
Oh.
No. I think both players are confused about who's actually taking that penalty.
Yeah,
I believe that was Kitty Lickerbottom that was called out on back blocking, releasing Dust Bunny from this pack. And it looks like Rebel Rocket is staying in the penalty box as well. I think
she may have taken a low block at the same time. Both jammers are back on. 10 seconds left in this jam, and the period clock has run out, so this will be taking us to the locker room. And that should be the half.
0 point score for CN Power. She still hadn't made her initial pass.
And there were a few points earlier in that jam for Ohio, but again, no more as she came back out of the box. So it looks like going to halftime, your score would be 69 for Ohio, 56 for CN Power. 13-point difference. Again, I think this is a lot closer than people were expecting to see in this first half.
CN Power definitely looking to climb the ranks with WFTDA. This is a big year for Toronto Roller Derby, and they really want to make a big impact. I think Ohio is already on this long streak, also making an impact in WFTDA standings. So definitely both teams have the fire to get this game done and over with.
That's right, and coming up, it's part of that big push by CN Power this season. Later this spring, they're going to be heading down to the Brouhaha in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Following that up with a trip down to the ECDX tournament in Philadelphia. So they're going to be getting a lot of tournament games in, playing a lot back-to-back, and really giving their lineup a workout. Now, they're currently skating without triple threat Dinah Hercha, who, to be honest, doesn't jam a lot for CN Power, but she is definitely a triple threat for her home team, the Chicks Ahoy. She broke her wrist a couple of weeks ago in a training camp. Santa Muerta nursing a knee injury. They've had a couple of other skaters take leaves of absence this season, but they've still been putting up really tremendous numbers, and they're really making a push to try to